He called me talentless, then watched a Michelin star chef introduce me as his protege. I was prepping vegetables in Chef Laurent's kitchen when my phone started going off like a fire alarm. One buzz, then two, then a non-stop stream. 37 messages in under 5 minutes. Our family group chat was exploding. Kevin, my brother, my biggest critic, my personal mosquito, had just gotten engaged and decided to share some funny stories about his failure of a sister. Yeah, Sophie tried that whole cooking school thing but couldn't hack it, he wrote. Dropped out after a year, working at some greasy diner now flipping burgers. Probably for the best. Not everyone's cut out for real careers like mine. I nearly sliced my finger instead of the carrots. My cousin Hannah replied with crying laughing emojis. My aunt Karen helpfully suggested I look into admin work. Never too late to start over. My uncle commented, at least she's employed, I guess. Then my dad, the man who taught me how to scramble eggs at 7, added, maybe it's time Sophie got serious about life instead of chasing unrealistic dreams. My hands shook, not from hurt, but from a slow, controlled rage. Here's what they didn't know. I hadn't been kicked out of culinary school. I'd left voluntarily after Chef Laurent Beaumont, owner of 2 Michelin stars, called me into his office 8 months ago. After tasting my duck confit at a private event, he offered me an apprenticeship. You don't say no to a man whose waiting list is longer than most restaurants' rent contracts. But Kevin had just gotten promoted to regional sales manager, and my family was on a worship the golden child streak. They wouldn't understand why I'd leave school, so I lied, told them I worked at a diner, let them believe I was scraping by. Meanwhile, I was working 16-hour days in one of the best kitchens in the city. Chef Laurent noticed me frozen with the phone in my hand. Problem, Sophie? I handed it to him silently. He read the messages, expression darkening with each swipe. Then he handed it back and said, invite them. Saturday night, we'll celebrate your brother's engagement properly. My treat, full tasting menu. I almost laughed. Instead, I nodded. Saturday arrived. From the kitchen window, I watched my family file into the dining room, looking horribly out of place. Mom tugged her dress down every 10 seconds. Dad glanced at the menu and his eyes bugged at the prices. Kevin strutted in wearing a suit that screamed clearance rack CEO, with his fiancée Brittany latched onto his arm like a luxury accessory. We sat them at the best table in the house. I made sure of it. Kevin began holding court immediately, bragging about his promotion, his car, his future in-laws' vacation home in Aspen. I could practically smell the insecurity. My station was ready. 7 courses I'd spent months perfecting. Seared scallops with brown butter caper sauce, duck breast with cherry gastrique, handmade truffle pasta, a dessert I'd been refining for weeks. I changed into my chef's whites, the ones with my name embroidered on them. My hands weren't shaking anymore. Chef Laurent gave me a simple nod. Go. I walked out to their table. Conversation died mid-sentence. My mom's wine glass froze halfway to her lips. Sophie? She breathed. Kevin's smirk wobbled. What are you doing here? Did they let you bus tables or something? Before I could answer, Chef Laurent stepped beside me, resting a hand on my shoulder. Your sister, he said clearly, is one of the most talented young chefs I've trained in 20 years. She's been in my kitchen since last fall. Starting next month, she'll be my junior sous chef. The table went stone silent. My aunt's jaw dropped. My dad blinked like he'd been unplugged. Kevin stuttered, but the diner. You said? I lied, I said, placing the tasting menus in front of them. Because none of you would understand why I left school for this. Every dish you eat tonight, I made it. Mom opened her mouth, but Chef Laurent wasn't finished. Oh, and Sophie, I forgot to mention. His smile widened. Per se in New York accepted our recommendation. You start as their head pastry chef in 3 weeks. Kevin's engagement ring suddenly looked a whole lot less shiny. I watched the realization hit each of them like slow-motion dominoes. Every cruel comment, every dismissal, every joke they'd made behind my back. And then I walked back into the kitchen, head high, to plate course 1.